performer is actually not a guest performer. It's one of our own, Petitjean, who sadly will be leaving us very shortly. He's not dying, he's just moving. He's going to be going to med school in Shreveport, so congratulations. Just nail right off the bat. So we're going to do a little show, not by myself, obviously, because that would suck. We're going to start off with a little game that is, coincidentally, Jason's least favorite short-form game ever. That he's not going to play, because he's a special guest tonight, so he doesn't have to. So let me get the rest of my Silverbacks out here, with the exceptions, Jason. The Lafayette Famous format started off, we're going to do a little game called Musical Hotspot. Basically, the way it's going to go down, hopefully, is that we're going to get a word from you, the audience, a single word, one suggestion, that I will get now.
Corn dog!
Chinese checkers!
Programs.
Peanut butter. Fried chicken.
Wow.
Programs. Jalapeno!
Let's go with peanut butter, because I like peanut butter. So the way it works is we're going to start off, someone's going to start singing a song that the word peanut butter reminds them of. The next person will tag them out and start singing a song that that song reminds them of. So on and so forth in perpetuity until hopefully we get back to the original song. It might work. So this is musical peanut butter.
Crispy, crunchy, peanut buttery Snickers, peanuts in your peanut butter, peanut butter. Jam don't shake, must be jelly 'cause jam don't shake. Peanut butter.
Peanut butter jelly time! Peanut butter jelly time!
My milkshake brings out the water.
Shake. Shake your booty.
Shake it up, baby, now. Shake it up, baby. Twist and shout. Twist and shout. Come on, baby, now. Come on, baby, go shake.
Shout. Let it all out. These are the things I can do without. Come on. I'm talking to you, so come on. You know you make me wanna shout. Throw my hands up and shout. Throw my arms back and shout. Don't know words like
These arms of mine, they are lonely. Wanting to behold.
I wanna hold your hand. I wanna hold your.
He's got the whole. He's got the whole wide.
Shine, Jesus, shine.
Yes, the light of mine. Let it shine. This little light of mine. Let it shine.
Kumbaya. Kumbaya.
Michael Roach. Hallelujah. Michael rowed the boat ashore. Hallelujah.
Puff the man by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in the land called Hanali. Puff the magic dragon. This is the second verse.
Do you believe in magic? In a young girl's heart, some words go here, but I can't remember. This is magic.
Why don't you build me up, girl? Buttercup, baby, just to let me down. Make me feel bad, I need you.
Sweet Caroline. Good time.
tell us, not all at once, because that would be difficult. And then we are going to, off of each of those stories, perform a series of scenes inspired by them. So we have not heard any of these stories.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Okay. So why don't we get this show on?
Absolutely. So this first one might gross a couple people out. I thought I could make all of you people comfortable. I used to live in a house near campus that, for a short period of time, had a roach problem. Oh, there it is. I would walk into the kitchen and I would see a roach scurrying across the floor. Sometimes I would light the hallway and I'd see one dash to the dark corner. One discovery I made was when I was taking a shower and I noticed out of the corner of my eye a pair of antennae arise at the top of the shower wall, and I saw a cockroach surveying the porcelain canyon. And when I went to grab the shampoo bottle to murder it, it turned around and it dashed into a little hole in between the shower wall and the bathroom wall. So I saw one of their points of entry. Now, the next day, might be unrelated, but when I walked into the bathroom, I saw on the floor of the bathtub/shower a thin brown streak. Now, I don't know what cockroach poop looks like. I don't know how they defecate. I don't know anything about that, but having associated the cockroach problem and their point of entry with the shower, I assumed that the thin brown streak on the tub floor was cockroach poop. Now, within a week of that discovery, I had decided to go with a couple friends for a bout of drinking at Nighttown. The poison of choice was Crown Royal Canadian whiskey cut with Coca-Cola, and I was drinking like mad. By the time we were done, I staggered out of Nighttown, grasping onto consciousness, coming in and out, and I had the good sense to call up a friend, have him give me a ride and drop me up at home. The whole time I was blacking out, coming back in, blacking out, coming back in, until I finally walked through my front door and came completely back to awareness when my body said, "You're going to throw up. It's inevitable. Prepare yourself." I was ready to go to sleep too at the same time though, so I figured I would grab my blanket, wrap myself up, and then sit and prop myself up against the bathtub, just in case I needed to wake up and hit the toilet. I would just have to lean forward. Well, I fell asleep, and I did throw up in the middle of the night, but I did not wake up during that process. Yeah, so I ended up thankfully I was sitting up, so I just threw up forward and onto my blanket. Yeah, instead of dying, that would have been nice. However, whenever I woke up the next morning, I did not immediately realize that I had thrown up. And I did not know what throw up looks like when all you've had is Crown and Coke. Now, if any of you don't know what throw up looks like when all you've had is Crown and Coke, just know I woke up the next morning and saw on my blanket thin brown streaks. And I thought, foolishly, that the cockroaches conspired to shit on me during the middle of the night while I was passed out drunk, and leapt up and threw my blanket in the washer and showered for about an hour.
Jimmy, this here's our land now.
Never seen so much porcelain.
Yep. This is manifest destiny. This
Westward ho.
westward ho.
So when do we shit on?
Well, I think we need to aim towards the center of the tub to really make our purpose known. Go on, Jimmy.
Going.
This is what you've trained for.
Figure eight.
Impressive.
Today we mourn our brother Lyle, who was murdered horribly with a shampoo bottle. He was a good cockroach.
Giant roaches enslaving us was your first pet, I imagine.
It took me a while to get around to it, you know, environmental catastrophes, but this definitely has a religious.
Dear presence!
You know, if we could just publish those pictures the way I wanted to do.
What? What is this, pictures? What?
Nothing, Basil.
Nothing, Master.
Who has the upper hand now?
Your shiny
Dear God, the subterranean caverns.
Coochie coochie coo. Oh, oh. Oh, you're all around. Oh, who's your awful wiggle cock? Part of the process. They're just so difficult at this age.
I suppose this one is less of a story, more just simply an event, but I can hardly believe it happens, so I'm going to tell it. Summer of 2004, 2005, one of those two, I needed my wisdom teeth removed. And I don't know if anybody's had to go under for a wisdom tooth removal, but those drugs are fun. Before the actual removal took place, I was lying down on the chair and one of the assistants placed some laughing gas over my face in order to sedate me. And then she began poking needles into me for some reason. Several times on this arm and then once on this arm. I don't know if she was trying to inject something or put an IV in, I'm not sure. But every time I would feel the needle poke, I would say, ow, 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 ow. And it finally got to the point where I went under. Now, at this point, I don't recall any of this happening. This was all recounted to me because I was loopy. I woke up in the recovery room and started finding fascination in almost anything I could see. There was a little heart monitor on my hand and I realized it was linked to a beep. And I was just starting out on percussion that time, so I realized if I make my heart go faster, I can make the beats per minute go up. So I started conducting the machine. Focus there. While the rest of my family was having a conversation with the assistant, who was there, who poked me with the needle. And my mother just asked, oh, how did he do? Was he okay? She said, in a joking manner, she didn't really mean to insult me. She said, oh, he's a little pansy. Every time I pricked him with the needle, he would go, ow. And that was all I heard. And I stopped what I was doing, and I turned to her and yelled, you're a pathological liar! And then I grabbed my sandal and I threw it at her. And that's it.
Hi, my name is George, and
Hi, George.
hi, I'm a pathological liar.
You're a pathological liar! You have to say it like
George? That's not my name, So I'm not even really a pathological liar. I'm
Class, what do we say to him? You're a pathological liar! Accept it.
But no, I'm not. I'm a senator. And I run a used car dealership.
I knew you from somewhere. I voted for you.
Thank you. And yeah, no, I've never told a lie in my entire life. It's kind of strange that I'm here.
You know, I feel like we might need to go to a higher level.
Okay.
I feel that
agree.
he doesn't really
Take him to a higher
take
level.
this seriously enough. Do you know what we do to repeat pathological liars here? Pathological Liars Anonymous?
I wouldn't know, because I'm not a pathological liar.
We cut off your tongue.
That keeps you from lying.
Okay.
It also keeps you from telling the truth, so
Right.
It's a wash.
we need to make sure that you tell the truth so that you can keep your tongue to continue telling the truth.
Just
It's
say
the only
one
way to
word.
recover.
One simple truth. You don't have to cut out your tongue.
One simple truth.
Something simple.
I've got this chart right here. Let's see.
No, I just said it. Did he not say that I had to say one simple truth and then we wouldn't cut out? So I said one simple
So
truth.
you're-
Maybe it was 3. Maybe I made up the numbers.
So you're a smart ass too. Is that right?
Guilty as charged.
That was true.
Ah! My face!
Got pretty good aim, huh?
What was that about, babe?
It was about Deidre, Brian.
Oh, what? That hoe? Come on.
So now you're a misogynist too.
No, I was just putting her down to point out that I don't care about her. I mean, look, we just work together, right?
Well then why were you seen at Pamplona at 11 p.m. at night sharing a picture of red sangria?
You go out after work sometime, you hang out with people you hang out with. Ah, thanks.
You guys aren't even in the same department.
Ah.
Wow, you didn't even check who it was.
Sorry, it was annoying.
You see this face?
It's your happy face,
You're looking guilty.
Well, I'm feeling guilty, you know? Not because I am guilty, but because people are accusing me of things without any real basis.
Really, Brian? I'm not saying I wouldn't forgive you, but I can't forgive the pathological lying.
Just tighten up this thing. Sorry, hold on a second.
So what's the truth?
There's no Deidre. Just like hanging out after work and just here.
Sure?
So I've been calling and calling and texting and nothing. He doesn't answer, he doesn't respond.
That's a sign. We've
Maybe
talked
he's
about
dead.
this. You know, that's always the first worry, but usually they're just not answering your calls.
But he's never not answering.
I understand that, but has something changed between you two?
Oh, I mean, we had a lovely evening. We had some sangria.
How lovely of an evening did you have? That,
Really lovely.
that lovely?
Yeah.
And now he's not answering your calls or your
12.
We have talked about this. Let it go. God, he's just not that into you. You just wanted to get into your pants.
I wasn't even wearing pants.
We need to talk about your nudity problem in the office.
People find it becoming. Don't fail people.
I have a lewd comment that goes with that, but I'm going to refrain because this is a serious conversation, but it involves the word becoming.
I'm not wearing pants.
I don't think you have to.
They took my pants.
It's a no pants day.
It might always be no pants day here.
Oh my God, what if it was always no pants day?
This beeps. It's beeping. Make your thing beep. Make your thing beep. I'm gonna try to do the same time as you.
Dude, I think my heart stopped.
Oh!
I think I'm dead. I'm in pain over here.
Behold, the art monitor.
Wait, that's monitor in your heart, and you touch it to mine. Are you like crossing the stream?
And should blast us into a new dimension. A magic
Everything's purple.
purple.
I think we're in Baton Rouge.
A long time ago, I was a member of the St. Edmund's Catholic Church youth group. And every summer, the youth group would go on a trip someplace across the country to visit some kind of religious landmark, be it a basilica or a monastery or something of that fashion. And the last time I went on a summer trip with the youth group, we went to St. Louis, Missouri to visit a basilica. We also had a couple other things planned there. And the last thing we did was visit the City Museum in St. Louis, Missouri. Kind of an interactive museum. They had a whole lot of cool things there. My best friend at the time and I decided to go into what was called the Enchanted Cavern section. They had stalactites and rocks and little rivers and low lighting to make it look like you were actually inside a cave. At the end of the cavern section, there was this slide, and this slide went down several stories. It was kind of like a chute. You had your normal slide part, and they had a couple of bars that provided some kind of roof ceiling, so you don't fall out several stories. Now, my friend and I were at the top of the slide, and we decided to go one by one for safety reasons. Now, I went first. Now, as I went down the slide several stories and saw the bottom, it fed into this room, this kind of tiny room. And I thought it would be cool to do this kind of cool superhero action leap off the slide and roll into the room. But one thing I didn't notice was the way the room and the slide met. The ceiling of the room kind of jutted up at a corner, and this was the ceiling of the slide. I leapt too early, and I knocked my skull against the corner. Right here. Got into the room. Now, at first, it felt like the way it normally feels whenever you hit your head on a corner. It's numb for a bit, but it didn't seem like any big deal. I thought I didn't do that much damage. So when I turned, I heard my friend coming down the slide, and I went to yell at him to watch for the ceiling because it was lower than expected. And as I was yelling, I heard something drip onto the floor next to me. And I looked up at the ceiling of this tiny room to see if there was a drip coming from like condensation. And then I realized within a couple of seconds that I was bleeding out of my head from the top. It had gone all down my neck, all around my shirt. It got really macabre. When my friend came down, he said, "Let's go find help immediately." So I tried to stay as calm as possible, and when we left the cavern section, luckily the first person we ran into was a trained nurse who had a son who had a special mental disability that put him in trouble of injuring himself a lot, which means we found a nurse with a tackle box first aid kit. This was the most prepared person to handle my situation, and she said, let's get you to a bathroom and clean you up. So my friend and I, the nurse, were going to find the nearest bathroom so she could clean me up and, bandage the wound so nothing would happen. And it wasn't really that bad, I was just bleeding a lot. I didn't feel nauseated or in that much pain or anything. But my best friend's sister was walking by and noticed that somebody was drenched in blood all over his face, hands, clothes, going all the way down to his legs. And it took a few seconds to realize that it was me. As I saw the shocked look on her face, I tried to explain, we went down this slide that was about 5 stories tall and I hit my head at the very end. And I just tried to explain what's happening. And before I could really explain what was happening, she screamed and turned and bolted to find my mother. So we go into the bathroom. The nurse cleans me up. She puts on a couple of headbands. I'm fine. I just have stained clothes. That's about the worst of it. And when we step outside, the entire youth group is outside of the bathroom to see what they think is the worst medical disaster in all of history. I think my mother had told me later that the way the sister had rapidly recounted it to her in her angst and disgust was that I had fell 5 stories and cracked my skull or something hyperbolic to that nature. And she freaked out. I was totally fine. The only thing was I had to throw my shirt away and wear bandages for the rest of the trip. But I haven't been on a slide since.
All right, just in case anything could possibly happen. Honey, are you okay? You need a bandage? Yeah, you scuffed up your nose there. Hang on. Are you okay? Oh, you need a bandage too. Okay, hang on. No, not in that drawer. Oh, you're gonna need a bandage. You first.
Oh, that really hurt.
Okay, I'm gonna need a splint now.
Okay, breathe. What happened? Okay, 5, number 5. He fell. Who fell? I don't. Let's see. He's just in an awkward posture.
Oh, he'll be fine.
It's not so bad. I'll just walk it off. We don't need to let anyone know.
No, nobody needs to know about that.
One more injury, we're screwed.
I'll give the bear tracks the ball.
I know! Who does that? Maybe we should unclink it, clench it. Here, wrap your shirt and see if we can just... Well, now they're tangled.
Oh, I see you children went down the slide that led to the bear claw exhibit.
Just bear claws?
Well, they are at the end, right after all the bear traps. It's a big bear exhibit. As you'll know, when you got on the slide, there was a sign that says, please do not try to stand and jump off of the slide at the end. A bear trap will get your leg.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm literate.
And it's all your parents' fault, baby.
your sacred glue in the head of this child. Give your tackle box first aid
Here's
kit
what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go get him out
to
of
the
the
wound in
bathroom,
his head.
and we'll do like those other groups do. We'll lay hands on him, and then all the blood will go away. Right?
Yeah.
That's how that works.
Give him
Okay.
candy.
We are Catholic. You stop right here.
I was kind of wondering if you'd want to like go to the youth group camp.
Okay, I'll get my balloon. We gotta practice. No, there you go.
Oh, right. I didn't mean to look at your boobs. I'm sorry.
That is simple, and you will lead me into a life of
Sorry.
sin. The billboard said that lust leads you straight to hell, and I'm not gonna go there. No one I like is there.
I promise I won't look at them ever
I
again.
hear there are parties in hell, and I will not have that.
I promise I'll be good.
Okay, you're not gonna lead me to hell because
No,
I
no.
really can't have that on
I
my
learned my
record.
lesson. I learned my lesson.
Forgive me, Father, for I've sinned. It's been 16 years since my last confession.
Yes, my son. Well, start at the beginning.
All right. We were exploring this fun house, and I may have set up some bear traps. I feel real bad about it, and I want to not really care anymore. So, what you got?
It does sound like it was an act taken with malice, son.
It was funny. I don't think it was like hateful.
Was there permanent damage from the bear trap?
Oh yeah, he'll never walk again.
Have you made amends to the people that you hurt?
I lit one of those candles for them on the way in, so.
Dang, damn it! Somebody done wandered off with my bear tracks.
Now, who in their right mind would want those rusty old things? They are full of tetanus.
They ripped the stake right out the ground, took the chain and everything.
Look, it looks like it needs a path to the children's museum over there. Those rapscallions in the museum, always stealing our stuff. I hope they're up on their booster shot.
You museum folk! What do y'all got my bear traps?
You tell them.
I know you can hear me!
Here's the shotgun, go get them.
You called for museum folks?
I know!
Yes, sir. I'm a museum person.
Good! Somebody done made off with my bear traps and I tracked them over here.
Surely you don't think an institution like the state museum would have any interest in having a bear trap?
Sure, maybe she's up to
Museum people, come here.
Oh, what a delightful noise! The voice!
I've never missed a
Resulting to
track,
violence.
nothing.
It's so
Nowhere.
well.
I followed the trail right up to the steps of this here museum. So I know those tracks are here.
Well, sir, you are more than welcome to look at the exhibits, provided you're a member of the museum.
Oh, Bessie here says I'm a man.
Baby, I brought you the machine gun.
And little Bessie says it too.
I got your membership right here.
The last time I saw one of those, I was in Chipotle.
Oh my God.
They do have an eye for editing of the modern arts, don't they?
True, but I do think the proverbial stuff has gotten real.
The stuff.
I don't think they're taking us seriously.
I'm gonna
Okay, I've been working on the somersault, popping into a Superman shuffle.
Okay,
Here we go.
come on, you can do it. That was something.
Shucks, man. It's never good at gymnastics, but it's really important if I'm gonna be Superman.
Well, not all of us can do the flips and the jumps. Some of us have to just be the cheer captains.
Cheer captains.
Yeah, like the boys.
Can I? Well, I could be like a scientist in the laboratory or something.
Oh, you're thinking past high school. I don't do that.
Why don't you show me your Superman somersault?
Honey, I'm the leader of his cheer team. I don't have to do anything I don't want to.
You can be a cheer captain. You can be a scientist. You can be anything that you want. Just
I just have an internal mantra that I like to go through in my head throughout the day. It goes, you can be a cheer captain. You can be a scientist. You can be whatever you want to be.
You know, I think the theater club's looking for new people.
So then I walked out of the bathroom like covered in blood.
Holy shit.
Covered. And all of the girls were not scared at all, man.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like the worst prank ever. I totally failed at it. Apparently girls aren't as squeamish as they are on TV.
Well, what'd you use for fake blood?
Ketchup and corn syrup.
Ketchup and corn syrup?
Yeah, you know, because blood's a little more orangey than like just red dye, so I use ketchup and corn syrup.
Here's your problem. Come here.
You got a better idea?
Look at old Bessie. You know, she's an old pig. If you're gonna do it, you gotta do it right.
I feel like I've seen this in a movie somewhere.
Give me 1 second, I'll get the bucket.
Whoa, dude, I just wanted to freak out a couple of the girls because I liked them and I had to figure out which one was like worthy. I don't really want to kill old Bessie.
Whoa! I was gonna say we feed Bessie and then we go get corn syrup, red food dye, and green food dye. Why don't you slow your roll?
Where is that coming from?